All right, Stitch Pink 2020, Block 23. This one is called Fixer Upper, and you'll hear Debbie and I discussing whether she should change up some colors. You can see that she did change up one of the colors in there. So watch the video and you'll know what we're talking about. So Fixer Upper. Debbie did fix it up.
Hi, I'm Debbie from Rocking Chair Quilts. Thanks for joining me for Block 23. This block's called Fixer Upper. So, got all of our little pieces cut out, and we're using different colors. And I did change one thing, and I'll go ahead and tell you about it now because I've done some pre-sewing on this. So, for the eye, that's the biggest part, the very last, the H and the I parts, it had, when you cut out the parts, it tells you what colors to use. And for some reason, it didn't work out where it looked like the picture. So I have two red, and it looked like two red and then two darker reds, but those colors weren't on there. So I have two darker pinks and two reds. So it's not gonna look exactly like the diagram, but it does look more like the picture of the finished block. So look at your colors and see what you think on that. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to lay out this block. The diagrams are really good, and I went with that whenever I was doing this, and I'm going to leave my little letters on there. So you're going to sew, and I hope I'm putting this the right way.
You are.
Okay, it looks like it. I'm just going to kind of lay these out in the order that they go.
Kind of like a log cabin.
So yeah, so you'll sew these two together, and then once those are sewn together, you'll sew C on there. Once you sew these three pieces together, you'll sew D on there. It is just like a log cabin. So you're sewing on, you just keep going around the block and sewing the different ones on. So E, and then after you get those sewn on, you put F, keep going around, do G, and then your H, and your I. So I really didn't like chain piece these. I just did one block at a time. I used leaders and enders so I could just keep feeding them through.
Explain what a leader is.
Okay, a leader and an ender. I just have a little piece of fabric folded up, like a little scrap that I got, and I feed it, after I sew these two together, I feed my little ender on there, and I clip these off, press them open. You can roll it out with a seam roller or finger press, whatever, and then you put this piece on, so you've got that little leader. Your ender becomes a leader.
Yes.
And so you'll put this piece on. I either use two of them, like I feed another one, a little leader or ender on there, or I clip the one off that was sewn on first.
Okay.
And so I just, instead of cutting my thread every time and starting over, it's not even that it uses a lot of thread. If you do that, I just don't like to stop and start so much. I always like to have something in there. So that's what I do. I sew these two, put the little leader piece on there, clip this off, press it open, sew this piece on, put my little leader or ender or whatever, and then I sew this piece on, I clip it off, sew the leader. So that's what I do. I just keep going around in a circle instead of chain piecing. If you don't do that, you kind of get mixed up on your colors for the, so you're going to sew 4 of these sections together. You're going to have enough to sew 4 of these sections together.
Okay. Do you know what they're supposed to measure when they're done?
Yes, they're supposed to measure 6.5 inches.
Okay.
Each quadrant.
All right.
So I'll go sew this one. We'll come back and we'll put the whole block together.
Okay.
So these, you'll have 4 of them. So
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. So I've got my 4 pieces made. And see, this is another thing I'm talking about. The colors that they chose, it just, because of this darker pink being here on the inside instead of out here on the outside too. I don't know. It just kind of weird.
Different.
So pick your colors if you haven't cut yours yet. Just pick them, and they can all be like the 2 with the pink could be the same, and the 2 with the red could be the same, whatever. This is my little leader and ender that I've been using that I was talking about a while ago. Yeah, I've been using it for a while. I have some that are so solid that it's almost like a piece of canvas. So, so we'll sew these together. The pinks will be opposite one another, and the reds will be opposite one another. still contemplating taking this one or making a new one for that section. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then we'll get that sewn together.
It just has a different look with that dark color in the
It does.
this,
I'm thinking I
this
might.
place right here.
I think I'm gonna fix a different one for that one, and
Yeah, I'll show you the video when I'm done, and you can see what it looks like this way too. So it always looks different on a video.
it does.
All right, are you ready to go sew then?
I'm ready to go sew.
And then the block is done, right?
And that's it. Thanks for joining us.
All right.